Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, a pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking shelter-related Chinese characters. So, mian, this cover with the chimney, was what we have been meeting again and again in the past few weeks. And then we meet this shelter plus this unmarried woman, the girl imagery. And we meet this shelter plus the tree symbol underneath. Plus a girl, it means safe, because only you have your daughter under the roof, under the shelter, that testify to the safety level. Only when it's safe, you're going to place your daughter over there. So that is the safe. Now, the tree underneath that roof doesn't mean the tree grow in-house. Maybe some bonsai trees, but for the most part, these scholars interpret, and I agree, that this is a tree next to your shelter, and it means a settle. Only after you live there for a while, the tree that you planted, supposedly, can grow into a tree, and that shows the establishment have been there for a while. So with girl safe, with the word settle. Now with a tree and a girl together, what that could be. It means case. And it's quite a little bit of development. So we have together the top and this safe image. And then the whole thing is an. So you know this an probably contribute to the majority of the meaning. It carry over its sound. And then the bottom, the tree symbol, in this case, serves as a material marker. We have a ton of Chinese characters with a tree symbol in it. That simply means it's a kind of a tree or it's made of tree. So in this case, it's something made of wood. Okay, the top safe still works in this context. Why is a case? Because at the beginning, this safe, something safe that's made of wood, was used as a food tray. So that's a very interesting, right? A phenomenon. Like nowadays, when we, after cooking, we just, serve on the table. We don't really use a food tray. But I guess in ancient times, I heard and mentioned by multiple people that ancient Chinese, we don't eat together like today. The pretty notorious Chinese habit if somebody from another country, another culture visited, and the local Chinese, to show their hospitality, they would use their own chopsticks that they have used to pick food from the common food plate and put that on your plate, and you have to eat it, as appreciation of food sharing. In English, we have break a bread, right? That means sharing food, have a kind of a bonding developed over food sharing. Similar practice, but personal hygiene-wise, it's very questionable behavior. So I know that's one thing that in this cross-cultural communication, things like that happen. However, that eating around a big table, lots of people, that was probably a recent phenomenon. Back then, it was said, according to scholars, that people actually eat from their own table. They don't have a big table and make it a social setting. Like everybody eat in front of their food on their own. That's something surprising. And I would imagine that's probably for food, kind of social setting as well. It may not necessarily be a household, everyday practice. That seems to be like too much trouble. Everybody have their own food table. In this case, we have an. Originally means food tray. So instead of table in our dining today's scale size of dining table function, everybody have their smaller scale table or tray to eat from. And that food tray need to keep the food safe. So I guess ancient times the food could be hot, soupy, it could be, if toppled, be some hazard over there. So food tray, you don't have to hold it, and it's securely placed in front of these individual diners. And yeah, my guess would be in a household, probably people still share food and eat together, gathering, versus in a more highbrow place that people have their own space, their own table, their own food. There's no mixing, like your whatever your biohazard material won't accidentally pop onto some other's plates. So that's my guess. So there was this food tray, served a purpose in history, even if today we don't use it much anymore. Eventually, this character from food tray turned into a table. So this table, a lot of times, is used not for dining, but for working, studying, communicating, writing, reading, right? Your study desk basically is a desk and not exactly a table. So that eventually, because of the things or the documents you handled on that desk, eventually this represent a case, as in the legal term that this is a case, like something you have to handle, process on that table or desk. Okay, and we can see the ancient version still holds true. This is a tree symbol. This is a unmarried woman, a motherhood, pre-motherhood woman, and under the roof. All right, 举案齐眉. This was a wedding advice for most of the brides. It's gender specific. I knew that because I was given that. That you're supposed, the woman, the wives, supposed to treat their husband with the kind of respect or submissiveness, or I don't know, adoration, by holding up the food tray. So 举案 here means both hands lifting up the food tray, 齐眉 up to your eyebrow, kind of like that. Wow. Just to serve their husband food. Picture that, 2026. It seems to be quite dramatic, but that was an ancient practice or societal expectation on women. It may or may not actually be true, right? It was simplified as this, captured in this set phrase, and I didn't see any 举案齐眉. Well, of course, I came late to the scene. I couldn't tell if this was a true practice back then by wives that served the food to their husband, lifting up like this, like a servitude, woman in servitude. So, but that was used as the food tree, its original meaning. 拍案而起. Here, you pound on the table. 耳 means and, 起 stand up. So this, I guess, table flipping action, 掀桌子 or 拍桌子. Okay, in today we say 拍桌子 means you expressed your strong rejection of the deal, your end of the deal, that you have to show in a dramatic or way to bam, pound on the desk, and then you have to stand up. And after standing up, it's naturally you leave the table. End of story. No deal is made. So that's 拍案而起, means you're enraged. You don't agree with the terms at all. All right. 有案可查. Now, if this is food tray, original meaning, this is table, the derived meaning, another piece of furniture. Now, 有案可查 is the current meaning. 案 means case, the previous judgment of something. So 有案 with or have such case 可查 can check up. So it means you can rely on the previous case judgment to check up on the previous case to kind of predict what's going to be the consequences here. So here is the food tray that apparently was still used somehow, and this was a contemporary rendering of what a food tree and would have looked like back then, but now it means case for the most part. Here we go. And thank you for your time. See you another day.